The final scene in the Central Division Finals. It all lies down here at Budweiser Gardens. One team, it's either win or go home. The other team, a trip to the NBL Canada Finals. We'll see what goes down here because it's Game 6, the St. John's Edge taking on the London Lightning. Hello, London. Hello, St. John's, especially the fans who are watching at Boston Pizza down at Water Street. And good afternoon, everybody. Aaron Sanders, JP, Justin Prince. Well, I think suffice to say that within these two division finals, there are certain adjectives and words you could describe about this. For the Atlantic Division title, you could basically describe it as a series that was full of grit and determination. For this series, a lot of emotion and a lot of adversity to overcome. JP, we begin with the St. John's Edge. Now, you know the writing is on the wall. A loss today means they're packing up their bags and they're going home for the season. But however, even though they lost 2 of their 3 games at Mile One Center, they still have high hopes because of the plethora of players they have in their arsenal. Yeah, this is a very deep team right now where a lot of them really stepped up, even with those 2 and 3 lost in that situation. In all of those games, really, they had some very strong offenses and were able to get a lot of rebounds. This is a team where if they can regroup here for game number 6, it's going to be an absolute thrower for game number 7. But for right now, they need to focus on one thing, making sure they keep up the consistency in terms of the scoring that they've seen in game number 5 and get a hot start to keep up with this London Lightning squad. And another team that has a consistency, you called it right there, the London Lightning. But however, with the news that broke out in the last few days, a lot of people are wondering, will the void be filled? Of course, we're talking about Royce White. He's been suspended for 11 games, so most likely the rest of the postseason. But for the London Lightning, they're not worried about this. They've found themselves in this situation before. They've gone 7-4 without Royce White. However, they have found consistent pieces into their puzzles, and no question about it, it all comes from their veterans, Mo Bolden, Ryan Anderson, and of course, Garrett Williamson, to say the least. Yeah, this is a very deep team, and all 3 of those guys are a big part of it. Those guys definitely going to be London having to definitely rely on them a lot today. With Mo Bolden a lot inside the paint today, along with Julian Boyd maybe, as well as maybe get Kirk Williams Jr. more involved off the bench today. Garrett Williamson, he's been the most consistent out of the 3, I think, this postseason so far. Be able to cut inside and have some penetration offense, maybe help set some things up on the outside. Ryan Anderson, he's been a bit streaky at best at times this series and for this postseason. If he can get the 3-ball going and not make, for example, just 3 of 15, London's going to be in a good shape. They need him to step it up and make his shots and make smart shots. If you have all 3 of them, along with Doug Herring Jr., along with the rest of your bench, all clicking on full cylinders, it's going to be an absolute challenge for the Edge just beside us here. Now, with the void that the London Lightning have to fill, do you expect a lot more coming down in the transition game, Deep? I think so. I think you might see them really try and push the tempo, maybe spread the floor a bit to try and take advantage. A lot of times we've seen in the series, Royce White was the main focus on offense on sets. Going in the low post, going solo basically in the low post, goes for a spin, tries to get a bucket. So I think right now they're going to maybe push that tempo, try and go a bit more NASCAR-style offense to get some quick buckets and to tire these legs out for the Edge here. I think it's just trying to play advantage to the strengths they have right now. And of course, you got to remember, London, it's more than just one guy in terms of the depth they have on the squad this year. Well, as we see Jeff Dunlap and company about to approach the bench for Game 6, we see a lot of things going down for the St. John's Edge. You know what? We've seen a lot of good hustle plays, especially coming from Russell Bird. He might be the difference maker because when it comes to Russell Bird, he has the depth. But will it be enough for the Edge to stave off elimination of force at Game 7? I'm not completely sure. If he steps up big time in this matchup, I think Bird can be definitely a big difference maker like Wally Ellenson has been for parts of the postseason. What we've seen for a few different players. If you get him more involved in this game, which we should expect for sure, or for game number 6 now that Royce is not in the equation, we should see him getting a few more touches at the very least to try and set things up right now and to try and get some motivation to get ready for if they can force a game number 7. If London wins, we'll see you at Game 3 of the finals. If St. John's win, we'll see you Tuesday for the ever-so-thrilling conclusion to this Central Division Finals series. That would be Game 7. But for now, let's focus on what's going on here this afternoon. Game 6, the St. John's Edge against the London Lightning. Brendan Jameson, Chris, and Tom Crouch will be on the call, and we'll see you folks down here at the Knockstrom halftime. We'll be back for tip-off in just a few moments here on Knockstrom TV.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's Knoxstrom TV Gamecast of the game, hometown London Lightning versus the visiting St. John's Edge, Game 6 in this Central Division playoff series. Chris, along with Tom and myself, Brendan. Chris, we're in for another great game this afternoon. One notable elephant in the room, of course, is the suspension of Royce White.
Yeah, Royce White suspended 11 games, effectively taking him out for the rest of the season for the London Lightning. And that's going to be a huge thing for London to try to replace. Royce was averaging 27 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. And simply put, you're not going to match that production with one player. You're not going to be able to have one guy sit into the lineup and replace that. So for the London Lightning, it's going to come down to guys who maybe weren't playing as many minutes, stepping into bigger roles. A guy like Julian Boyd, who's been coming off the bench, now going to be looked at to play the minutes like a starter and put up the same kind of production, hopefully, as a unit that Royce White was able to provide. The other guy who's going to get big jump, he's already been playing a ton of minutes. He's averaging almost a double-double in the playoffs, would be Mo Bolden. He's going to have to do a lot more of the dirty work down low. He's perfectly capable of doing that. So it'll be interesting to see how London adjusts their offense a bit too. I think without Royce in the lineup, obviously London was always a good transition team, but now that movement's going to become so much more important for the London Lightning to make sure the ball gets moving. And now that you have guys like Anderson, Herring Jr. handling a lot of the ball handling for the Lightning, I think you can see a little bit more run and gun. Not that they weren't before, but even faster play from the London Lightning.
Lineups on the floor for the Lightning today: Mo Bolden, Doug Herring Jr., Garrett Williamson, Julian Boyd starting, and Ryan Anderson as well taking the floor to begin the game. For the St. John's Edge, Desmond Lee, Ryan Reed, Jaron Skeet, Carl English, and Charles Hinkle. No real surprises on the floor for the Edge today.
Doug Herring Jr. got the face mask on there.
And in honor of Royce White, Herring Jr. begins the game with the mask on. Ryan Anderson loses control of the ball off his ankle, though, and that's an early turnover for the Lightning. Maybe some kinks to work out of the offense without Royce White in to begin the game for the Lightning. But the Lightning have been in this position before, playing games without Royce White, especially this season. That's Ryan Reed in control of the ball. He's going to back Julian Boyd down towards the net. Kicks out to Hinkle. Hinkle for three. No good. That goes out off the palm of Bolden. Edge will maintain possession.
Edge making it clear early. They're going to go down low to Ryan Reed a lot with Royce White out of the lineup. London's got bigger guys, but they don't really have anyone that matches the profile of Reed in terms of that physical play down low.
Carl English leaves it back for Reed. Down low to Hinkle. Under the net, kicks out to Lee. And that's going to go out of bounds. Hinkle had, I believe, the heel on the line there, trying to feed that ball out to Lee, so a turnover for the Edge.
You know, this pace right now, it's a pretty slow start to the game. That might work in London's favor because now they get to kind of work on those kinks. They get to kind of take their time, make a couple mistakes.
Herring Jr. steps up with a quick jumper off the glass, and the fans take their seat here in the Budweiser Gardens. Great shot from Herring Jr. from the elbow there. Hinkle flips over to Lee. Once again, down low to Reed. Reed's going to use his power to back Boyd up. Moves in towards the rim. No good, but Boyd's going to pick up the foul here.
Wow, I thought Boyd defended that about as cleanly as he could there.
So Reed, about an 80% free throw shooter, steps up to the line here. Drains the first one, no issues. Two for two for Ryan Reed.
You know, Reed had a great game in Game 5 out in St. John's. He had 21 points in that game, 9 of 16 shooting, only 27 minutes. Expect to see a lot of that tonight, too.
Herring Jr., another jumper. That falls, and Herring Jr. hot to start this game with the mask on. Skeet moving quickly around the floor. Hinkle at the top of the free throw line. Down low to Reed. And he loses control of the ball. Desmond Lee out of bounds. Oh, no, they're going to say Herring Jr. forced him out, so that'll be a foul on Herring Jr. A little bit too much of a physical presence there from Herring Jr. Maybe a nicer touch might have got him out of bounds as well. Desmond Lee a little off balance there, tiptoe on the line. English controls the ball. He's going to step up and take a quick three. No good from English, but Ryan Reed bullies that rebound into his body.
And again, Ryan Reed right now, this is a chance for him to just kind of feast on the London lineup right now. He's a guy who can really dominate down low, especially with Royce White out of the game. He's going to be a huge factor here for St. John's.
No
Gotta
good.
make your free throws.
Little too strong on that first free throw. So Ryan Reed accounting for all 3 edge points early on in the game. Williamson moves around the screen. Herring Jr. drives to the net. Can't grab it. Herring Jr. is going to get the rebound. Deep three from Herring Jr. No good. That's Lee with the rebound. Lee moves around the screen of Reed. Down low to Ryan Reed. Reed loses control of that ball, though. Boyd leaves it for Anderson. Anderson cross-court to Herring Jr., and he drives the lane. And Herring Jr. accounting for all 6 of the Lightning buckets so far.
You know, I love when you get Anderson and Herring Jr. both in the lineup, because when they get in transition, both are very talented passers. So the ball movement, for example, that bounce pass from Ryan Anderson was spot on, in full speed, and that kind of passing just makes everything in transition work so much better because there's no slowing down.
Jaron Skeet moving swiftly down the floor. He's going to go to the net himself. Big block by Julian Boyd, though. Carl English being double teamed here, loses control of the ball. Ryan Reed finds himself with the pass. Skeet with the quick 3 ball, no good, off the side of the rim. Reed down low using that body. He'll miss that, though. Henkel under the net hard. He goes back up. Garrett Williamson's going to pick up the foul on him. Offensive boards coming big for the Edge early on in this game.
Already 4 fouls on the Lightning in this quarter. Only 2 minutes, 30 seconds in, 4 fouls.
Hinkle, another very proficient free throw shooter for the Edge. Two for 2 for himself, so the Edge stuck 1 early on in this game, all 5 points through the free throw. Garrett Williamson leaves it out for Mo Bolden. Julian Boyd. He's going to drive. Feeds out to Desmond Lee. Really just didn't get enough on that pass. Hinkle in the corner to Skeet. Skeet steps in, takes a jumper. No good. Ooh. And Anderson and Williamson run into each other, inadvertently sending the rebound the Edge's way. And English steps a toe on the line, losing control going towards the rim, so that's a turnover for the Edge.
Yeah, I think Ryan Anderson, English was bouncing the ball kind of high when he was dribbling. I think Anderson got a piece of it reaching around.
So a missed opportunity there for the Edge off the miscue from the Lightning. Williamson leaves it for Anderson. Anderson drives. Takes a throw up too. It wasn't pretty, but it works. Ryan Anderson gets himself a bucket early on. Skeet directing some traffic for the Edge. Waiting for a play to set up. Feeds to English. English drives. Meets a wall in Ryan Anderson, but gets his own rebound. Little jumper won't go either. Second and third chance points for the Edge early on here. Ryan Anderson, quick step up 3, no good. That's Lee with the rebound. Hinkle. It's Ryan Reed. Skeet handles it. English. And Anderson just gets a hand in there and knocks it out of Reed's hand. He has himself a little laugh there, not expecting the Anderson help defense, but the Edge will hold on to the ball. 8 seconds to shoot on the shot clock.
You know, you always got to watch out for the active hands of Ryan Anderson. He still holds the NBL record for steals in a game.
And Carl English with a just inside the line two-pointer. Garrett Williamson's going to drive hard to the lane. Hinkle in there with a huge block for the edge. Great help defense on Hinkle getting back there to assist English. Herring Jr. down low to Williamson. Williamson going up hard. Ryan Reed's going to pick up this first foul of the game for the edge.
You don't want Ryan Reed taking fouls if you're the edge. I like Williamson going after Reed because Reed, it really is their difference maker down low, but has had issues with fouls basically all series long.
Williamson drains the first to two. Two for two for Williamson. The Lightning with an early 10-7 advantage. 7.5 remaining here in the first quarter. Karan Williams on the floor now. Jaron Skeet takes a seat on the bench. Williams played some big minutes so far in this series for the Edge. English back to Williams. Out to Hinkle on the corner. Down low to Glaze. Glaze tries to drive up to the rim. Mo Bolden picks up the foul. Glaze and Bolden get into it with each other.
They called travel on Glaze.
Chris calling it like I don't see it there. And that's Glaze, who's checked into the game for Ryan Reed after that, just his first foul. Williamson looking to drive, feeds back out to Boyd. Boyd leaves it for Bolden. Bolden driving the lane. Hinkle with another great block. Feeds back out to Williamson. Williamson takes a rare three. That doesn't go, but Boyd underneath the net with the rebound. Great ball movement here from the Lightning. Down low to Bolden under the net, and a great basket. Great vision there from Ryan Anderson to find Bolden underneath the net.
Also great movement on offense. All 5 players moving their feet. I love to see that from the Lightning.
That's Glaze with the handle. Up top to Williams. Hinkle back and Herring Jr. down. Herring Jr. gets his hands on the ball, and that's another travel on the edge. Great defensive play there by Herring Jr. to force the travel.
I don't even think Herring Jr. got a hand on it. I think he got a hand in the way, though, and so Hinkle had to adjust for the fact that Herring Jr. is going to get a clean steal, even if he didn't bobble it.
That's Brempong stepping onto the floor for the Edge. So the Edge going with a bit of sides with Glaze and Brempong on the floor. Not a lineup we usually see.
I think they needed to as well. Bolden's length and Boyd were both causing problems inside.
Anderson, two-pointer from the elbow there. The shots don't look pretty so far for Anderson, but they're going. That's Williams driving. Speed of Williams getting past the much bigger Julian Boyd.
And Karan Williams, a guy it's important for the Edge to get him going early because the Edge are a much better team when he's providing that dangerous second three-point threat alongside English.
Williamson dishes to Anderson. Lee playing some very aggressive defense out there on Anderson. Double team out on Anderson. Herring Jr. steps over to Bolden. Bolden's going to drive. Brempong's going to pick up the blocking foul there. Feet in motion there while Bolden drove towards the rim.
Good call there, too. I think this, obviously the fouls have been a little lopsided in the early going, but I actually think this has been a pretty well-reffed quarter after maybe the first couple minutes.
All right, so we step into this media timeout. Tom, takeaway from the first 6.5 of the game.
Ryan Reed is going to be a force, especially with the hole in the lineup without Royce White. Ryan Reed's going to be a force. I'm interested to see how they defend it. They started off going Julian Boyd straight up. I'm interested to see if they're going to start maybe doing double off the dribble. It's going to be a team effort. And Ryan Reed, not just on offense, crashing the boards. It's going to be a team effort required from London to make up that disadvantage.
And I actually think it was interesting that when Reed comes out of the game, I thought St. John's really struggled with dealing with the fact that both Bolden and Boyd were on the court. That's why we had to see Brempong come in, because I think the combination of Boyd being able to play physical and Bolden's length, they didn't really have an answer for both of them at the same time. They could only really do something about one at a time. Yeah,
I also want to echo too on offense, really seeing, Chris, you mentioned the ball, the player movement. All 5 guys moving. We saw, especially here in London, they got a little bit of ball watching. So a lot of movement. We saw a great energy play from Mo Bolden, getting that rebound. Everybody moving ends up in a layup. It's amazing how that works.
Because again, just creating that chaos, you're going to create opportunities, because there's no way a defense can account for 5 people running full speed.
And that's Mo Bolden at his best, making a play defensively and then being engaged on the offensive end with energy.
And again, Mo Bolden averaging a double-double in the playoffs right now, and just a really impact player for the London Lightning the whole way, and going to be their most important player now with Royce White out.
So we return from the immediate timeout. The Lightning 2 inbounds the ball here. That was Tom Croucher on the breaks along with Brendan and Chris. Anderson controls the ball with a quick 3 for the Lightning, short of the rim. 14-19, the Lightning control the early lead in the game. Williams feeds Ellenson, who stepped onto the court for the Edge. The Lightning with some lineup changes as well. Kyle Johnson and Kirk Williams Jr. on the floor with the rest of the starters now. Glaze trying to go around Bolden. Bolden's going to pick up the foul there. Glaze will go to the line for free throws.
One of the other things I'm loving from London right now, no real looks from the perimeter for St. John's. No one's really been able to get a clear look from three-point land. We saw one from Skeet in the very early goings of the game, but they've locked up the perimeter since. And for a team like St. John's, for example, a lineup like this with Ellenson and Karan Williams, they need their three-point shooters, but none of them are getting looks.
Glaze's second ball takes a trip around the rim there, but finally finds its way through. Herring Jr. paces the ball down the court, over the timeline for the Lightning. Makes a move around Glaze. Mo Bolden. Over to Kyle Johnson. Johnson down low right, and Kirk Williams Jr. Misses a cookie there. Can't handle the pass. What would have been an easy finish there for the Lightning turns into a turnover. Brempong with the ball, feeds out to Glaze. Glaze steps up. Around Kirk Williams Jr., but he loses control of his footing. Looks
Williams
at the
Jr. didn't even really make all that much contact with him.
And I think maybe that's what tripped Glaze up, is he was expecting more of the body contact for that spin-off, and when it's not there, you just twirl around and hit the deck.
I think when he was going for that spin, he thought he was going to be spinning into Williams' chest, and Williams, no, not directly, but in a way pulled the chair out on him. You know?
So Doug Herring Jr., quick step up three, no good. Hinkle with the rebound. And once again, as we've seen all series, Wally Ellenson screaming down the floor. He was the first man down there on offense for the Edge, and he gets rewarded there with a corner three.
And that's what Ellenson provides for this lineup, energy and hustle. And the way he's been shooting his three-pointers in the playoffs, he's a guy that's been extremely dangerous for the Edge as of late.
So we've got a tie game here. Kirk Williams Jr. goes to the rim. He gets on off the glass.
Tough bucket.
Ryan Reed feeds back out to Williams. Over to Brempong. Thinks jumper, feeds it for Reed instead. Reed takes the jumper over Bolden, no good. Anderson with the rebound.
I'd like to see Reed try to go to the rim in that matchup there. Use the side.
Anderson feeding cross court to Bolden. Bolden takes a three, no good, short of the glass. Herring Jr. in there tough though. Loses control of the mask, revealing his identity to the crowd. No, folks, that's not Batman. That's Doug Herring Jr., and that's Ryan Anderson with a 3. Mo Bolden grabs that rebound. He's going to drive past Reed, and that's going to be a charge on Mo Bolden. Great job by Reed setting his feet there.
But yeah, Ryan Reed down here on the offensive end. I saw him matching up on Mo Bolden there. I don't necessarily want him to settle for the jumper there. I think we've mentioned how Reed's at his best when he's playing physically, he's crashing. So even though Bolden did a good job not letting Reed get to his spot, I'd like to see Reed maybe not settle for the jumper there.
And that's Jaron Skeet driving. And we're going to get a push, I believe.
Lightning over the limit as well. A couple thousand referees in the building don't like that one.
But with 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, the Lightning have hit the limit. So every foul will send the Edge to the free throw line here. Friesen Laddie has joined the floor for the Lightning here as well. Skeet doesn't finish his first free throw, though. One for 2 for Skeet. Marcus Capers is going to relieve Ryan Anderson.
I think this is almost more about calming Anderson down than anything.
Capers with the handle, feeds Kyle Johnson. Quick pass to Boyd. Boyd with the jumper, no good, misses the net. That's Ellenson with the rebound. Ellenson once again flying down the floor, leaves it for Skeet. Up top to Reed, over to Lee. Lee kicks it into the corner to Ellenson. Capers right in the armpit of Ryan Reed. And that's a turnover from the edge.
It works.
Capers, as we know, a big defensive presence for the Lightning, and just being a pest early on in Ryan Reed's face.
Interesting choice of deodorant for Ryan Reed there.
So Capers with the handle. He drives, kicks out to Kyle Johnson from the elbow. No good. And that's going to be a foul on the floor. I believe that's 24, Charles Hinkle. We'll pick up the foul there. So the Lightning will inbound. Carl English will step back into the game for the Edge. Wally Ellenson will have a seat.
Still only one three-pointer made between both teams.
Boyd down low to Capers. Capers driving in on Jaron Skeet. Bit of a size mismatch there, and Capers uses it. Gets in for 2 over Skeet.
That's that weight room strength right there.
Lee pushes to English. English is going to drive. Kicks out to Skeet. Kicks out to English. Up top to Hinkle. Hinkle makes his way inside. Friesen Laddie with some great defense, though, but he leaves it for Skeet, who misses that three-point attempt.
London forcing a lot of bad looks there and ended up forcing St. John's to take a bad
Kyle
shot.
Johnson, quick 3. No good. That's English with the rebound. English driving. And he gets a little floater off the glass. Smooth move there by Carl English.
You recognize that Reed was down low and had great positioning for essentially boxing out on that play. And it gave English a clear lane to the bucket.
Friesen Laddie waits for defenders to clear, but misses the easy kind of lay-in there. That's Reed with the rebound. English dishes to Skeet. Hinkle with control. He's going to back Capers up. Jumper goes around. Hinkle praying for a call that he doesn't get. Kyle Johnson kicks to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. for 3. No good.
Whoa. Whoa.
Capers and Hinkle getting right into it. English is going to take a walk away with Hinkle there to calm them down. That's a foul on Capers, so the Edge will maintain control of the ball.
Edge cannot afford to lose Charles Hinkle under any circumstances. They're lucky cooler heads prevailed because losing Hinkle would be a big loss. Say the refs decided we're taking you both out. That's a trade London would take 10 times out of 10.
So this should be free throws for the Edge. It is.
I don't think it would be free throws.
Well, they're over the limit.
Oh, right. Sorry. That's 2 games in a row. Forgetting that limit.
So Hinkle will step up to the line here. Hinkle finishes his first free throw off. As we know, the winner of this series will take on the Halifax Hurricanes and the Eastern Division winners. Took care of the Moncton Magic last night, I believe. So the Edge have jumped out to their first lead of the game under a minute remaining here, 19-18. Capers driving lane, little bit of size over Skeet. That little floater won't go though.
It's going to be a foul on Russell Bird down there.
Bird, a name we haven't heard a lot of so far in this series. But Stover not playing this game for the Edge, perhaps in favor of Russell Bird there.
Yeah, Russell Bird came into the lineup for Xavier Ford, and then Stover checked out, and Ford's back in for the Edge.
Julian Boyd with a deep
man.
3 ball.
Not gonna count.
And unfortunately, a foul on the floor from the Edge will prevent that basket.
Capers and Skeet battling down low.
There's a lot of jaw-jocking here. Refs trying to figure out the right call as well.
Very low-scoring quarter considering how high-scoring the fourth
Absolutely.
of last game was.
And they've changed the call on the floor. They're going to count the basket here for the Lightning. And the Lightning will maintain possession off of that basket by the looks of it. So Capers out to Kyle Johnson. Johnson drives, takes a step back jumper, no good. Friesen Laddie tries to throw it back in. Kirk Williams Jr. drives in, no good. Friesen Laddie again. Third, fourth, second chance opportunities here for the Lightning. Open. And he's going to two-hand slam that right down emphatically. And that's
Desmond Lee.
Desmond
had to
Lee.
sit down.
Not quite sure what happened over there on that side of the court.
Saw him go down. That's part of what Kirk Williams got so open was when Lee went down. I didn't see what caused him to go to ground.
He's up and walking, though. Hopefully maybe just a quick tweak, something didn't feel right, and he's good to go.
Either way, we're going to have a timeout from the St. John's Edge. Tom, we've seen London take the lead here, 4-point lead, 23-19 for the London Lightning. What have the Lightning been able to do that's worked for them to pull ahead? Because, again, moments ago, the Edge were winning. What's London done to pull ahead?
Again, I talked about in the first little media timeout, discussed the fact that everybody needed to pitch in, especially on the boards. They've done that. That gap has closed. They're basically rebounding at the same pace now, and it hasn't been just one player on the Lightning doing it. It's been everybody. We've seen a lot more second chance opportunities for the Lightning because of that. I would say that's what's led to the slight lead. I also want to talk as well, Chris, you were mentioning what a different scoring pace we're at compared to the second half. If you look at that, we're talking like high 30s each of those quarters.
That's the second half of Game 5.
Exactly. So really interesting. Apparently they both found defense on their flight back. And I'm interested to see if they start opening it up more. You know, we've seen guys get a little heated, a little bit of emotion in the game. Let's see if they, you know, some of the adrenaline gets the offense moving here.
You know, interestingly enough, has been the perimeter defense. 2 of 15 combined three-point shooting from both the Edge and the London Lightning.
Nobody's shooting it well.
No one's shooting well from beyond the arc, and that's probably a big factor as why we have such a low-scoring quarter right now.
So we're back to the first quarter here. Just 16 seconds remaining here on the clock. The Edge with the inbounds. Carl English back to Hinkle. Over to Skeet. Time ticks down. Shot clock is off. Hinkle, great feed from Reed there. Distracting that Lightning defense. Just a couple seconds left on the clock. Skeet's going to pick up the foul down the floor. Slow that Lightning offense down. Just 3.3 left on the clock in the quarter.
Quick substitution.
Yeah, Karan Williams is going to take the last 3 seconds of the quarter here for the Edge as Skeet goes off. Big to notice here, if the Edge foul in these last 3 seconds, the Lightning will take free throws. They don't, though. Kyle Johnson, deep three, doesn't go. Falls off the rim. So we go into the second quarter break. The Lightning with the 23-21 lead. Tom, we just heard from you, but we got to get you back in here again.
I just want to quickly mention, I really like that play by St. John's. Coach Dunlap really made the smart move. Foul, make it so that, you know, it's a side out of bounds with short time left.
Make
really
it tough on the offense.
I thought that was a great play. Yep. I want to give a shout out to great coaching when I see it. That was a great play.
23-21 here. Again, end of the first quarter. London Lightning leading, but only barely. St. John's and London both struggling to hit the threes. What would you do if you were Jeff Dunlap to try and open that up? Because we've seen guys like English, Hinkle, Williams. Those are guys they really count on to be able to knock it down from outside. How do you open them up?
So it's all about the draw and kick, especially if you're St. John's. You really saw Carl English being able to drive the lane, kick to some open shooters. I think you know, Reed, if he can keep attracting a double team, that's how you open up shooters. For London, the ball movement, creating chaos, creating those open looks. But anytime you're struggling to get those good looks, it's about getting to the rim, and either you get a layup or you draw defenders and you get open threes.
We saw a lot of
modern basketball.
We saw a lot of zone defense early in the series. Haven't seen so much in the fourth quarter. Do you think the coaches are just holding off on that, or do you think they're going to go back to that at some point?
I think a coach always has his own defense in his back pocket. You never know when you need to change the complexion of a game. I think in the first few games it was very much a Royce White factor to it, and it was very effective. At this point, I think he has it in his back pocket, but I think man-to-man is probably what they're going to stick with. Again, I think it was very much a Royce deterrent.
Okay.
Why he had it.
Well, London used it effectively against St. John's as well. Do you think London might bring that out?
Again, maybe, like I said, it's always back pocket.
Maybe if Reed starts
exactly,
down low.
If you need to change something up, it's almost like in hockey when you need to just pull the goalie. Maybe the goalie hasn't necessarily been bad or anything, but you just need to change the pace, or that's what the zone defense really is for most coaches.
All right, back to the game here. Start of the second quarter in London, Ontario in Budweiser Gardens. The Lightning with the 23-21 advantage over the Edge. Brennan Jameson along with Chris and Tom Croucher. Karan Williams handles the ball for the Edge. Williams feeds to English. Friesen Laddie in his grill. And he's going to pick up the foul on English. Friesen Laddie staying tight to Carl English through that defensive effort.
There it is.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need the right word. It just doesn't come to you that quick. This Edge team doesn't miss a lot of free throws. They'll happily go to the line and make you pay for it there as English goes 2 for 2. Ties the game up early in the second. Capers over to Kyle Johnson. Capers, Williams Jr. down low to Kyle Johnson, flips back to Great ball movement here from the Lightning as Friesen Laddie takes a three. No good, though. Hinkle with the rebound. English in control into the corner for Ford. Ford's going to drive. Spins off Friesen Laddie, and no, we're going to take the charge. Another great defensive play there from Friesen Laddie. Really,
we've seen that about a million times from Friesen Laddie over the past 2 years. He's so annoying to be defended by because you know he's looking for that charge, and he seems to get it almost at will. He's so good at taking that contact and making sure his feet are planted quickly too.
So Johnson scoops to Williams Jr. Once again, the ball leaving the hands quickly of the Lightning players here, but a turnover there. Williams Jr. can't fit it through the feet of English. English is going to drive all the way down court. And Carl English thought he was bumped on the way out of bounds there by Kirk Williams Jr., but no call from the referee. Lightning will take control. Capers cross court. Feeds Kirk Williams Jr. Over to Capers. Capers is going to step in. Once again, fast ball movement from the Lightning. Kirk Williams Jr. for three.
This is a dangerous lineup.
And Friesen Laddie with the pickoff. He'll take his three. No good.
But right now, London has 5 guys who can shoot the three on the floor.
Ryan Reed with another great feed to Hinkle, and Reed and Hinkle have found some quick chemistry early on in this game.
Zone defense from the edge.
Capers with the ball, feeds Boyd. Boyd from the top of the key, no good, short off the rim. English will grab the rebound. English makes his way around. Down low to Reed. Xavier Ford's going to drive baseline. No good, but grabs his own rebound. Hands straight up and down for the Lightning here. And Johnson just mugs Ryan Reed there to prevent the easy basket.
The Edge are finding a lot of opportunity when they have Ryan Reed. They've been feeding it to Reed as Reed's cutting out, and then Reed kicks out to the three-point line. They've been finding a lot of open looks that way. Haven't been able to convert them, but if that keeps working, that's going to end up in some buckets.
Wally Ellenson back into the game for the Edge. Garrett Williamson on the floor for Friesen Laddie for the Lightning. Up top to Hinkle, open three ball. No good, though, but Ryan Reed once again a force under the rim. Capers blocks his shot, though. Capers driving quickly down the floor, kicks out to Johnson. Johnson steps in, up top for Boyd. Over to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. for three, no good. Some quick movement here from both teams. Hinkle, Reed fools Boyd, and he gets the one-handed slam.
Boyd going to Reed right now.
Williamson, he drives, he finishes off the glass.
Looked like he got popped in the nose, too.
And so Williams decides to slow the pace here a little bit for the Edge. He flips, he's going to drive up top to Hinkle. Hinkle feeds it Ford in the corner. Ford with a big three. So the offensive pace is picked up here early on in the second quarter. 30-28, the Edge have jumped out to the lead. Williamson in the corner to Johnson. He'll step in, take a jumper, no good. Reed with the rebound. Williams driving, kicks out to Hinkle. Hinkle drives, throws up a floater, no good. Williamson grabs the rebound, goes off of Hinkle's ankle on the dribble out, and that's going to be a charge. Xavier Ford runs over Williams Jr.
He was definitely not in the restricted area. I see what Xavier Ford's arguing, but it was the impact that knocked him back. His feet were definitely outside, and he made a good effort, too, to keep those feet outside of the little semicircle down there.
So after maybe we'll call it a lazy first quarter, a very low scoring one, especially this series, the offensive pace has really picked up here. Great ball movement, both teams flying down the court as well. Herring Jr. directs traffic here, feeds Williamson, who kicks out to Herring Jr. He'll step in, feed Anderson from three, no good. That's Lee with the rebound. Williamson's down low to Brempong. Brempong, great pass to Hinkle, but unfortunately can't finish, and that pass deserved a finish. Williamson kicks to Anderson. Anderson out to Herring Jr., down low to Capers. Capers will hit it back to Herring Jr. for the reset. And we're going to get a foul away from the play here. I believe it's going to be on Karan Williams on Garrett Williamson. Herring Jr. over to Anderson. Down low to Williamson, who takes the jumper, and a great finish there from Garrett Williamson. Hinkle with control over to Ellenson. Ellenson. Brempong's going to drive. Anderson there with some help defense, though. Williams goes in, no good.
Lost the handle.
And that's going to be out of bounds. Karan Williams with that toe on the line. So Carl English steps back into the game for Wally Ellenson. English's breaks have been short but sweet. We know they want him on the floor. Obviously this year's MVP. Bolden in the corner, over to Williamson. Williamson's going to drive, kicks out to Herring Jr. Back out to Williamson. He's going to drive, kicks to Herring Jr. He's got an open look, but he doesn't take it. And he runs down Williams. Doesn't like the call, but that's going to be an offensive foul on Herring Jr.
I can't recall a game with this many offensive fouls. There's been a lot in this one.
So Brempong and Ryan Riedel switch places here. Tie game, 7 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Williams across the timeline for the edge. Feeds Reed. And Karan Williams with a deep three ball, no good, but Hinkle gets position, drives, loses control off his own foot though, says the referee, so the Lightning with the turnover. Anderson with the handle. Kicks to Herring Jr. Herring Jr. flips to Williamson. Great pass from Herring Jr. and another beautiful finish there from Williamson. When you get him about 3-4 feet from the net, he is almost automatic.
And that's already the 13th assist from the London Lightning in this game. Just great ball movement.
Hinkle down low off the glass. He gets the basket and one. And Charles Hinkle playing with some fire early on in this game.
I think both teams are kind of sick of each other at this point. Obviously, St. John's wants the game to go on at least, or the playoff series to go on at least one more game, but I think both of them are just kind of looking ahead at this point. They want to be done with each other.
So Hinkle with a rare miss from the free throw line. Williamson drives in on English. Another beautiful finish from Garrett Williamson. My goodness. Using his speed and his strength to just blow by the edge defenders around the rim early on in this game. Jaron Skeet flips down low to Reed. Reed's going to use that power to back Bolden in, but he travels.
Yep. Pulled the chair out on
him.
him.
Once again, you know, these Lightning players smartening up a little bit here. You know, not letting Ryan Reed use his strength, kind of letting, you know, him make his own mistakes, right, Tom?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like the defense. I actually like the Mo Bolden matchup. He gives up the weight, but the length he has against a player like Reed might be an option that you want to stick with if you're Coach Vassell. Few interesting notes. We were talking about the zone defense. I guess he went to his back pocket because as soon as that quarter ends, he comes right out and goes to the zone defense. And here's one of the reasons I think why he wanted to go zone defense. You go zone defense, change the complexion of the game, and if the other team can't hit threes, well, guess what? the London Lightning have not been able to hit their threes.
Currently 2 of 16 from
So
three-point land.
if you're going to play a defense that is willing to give up some looks from deep, and if London can't make them pay, you stick with that zone defense. So a really interesting move. I got to give some credit to Coach Dunlap. I think that's a savvy move. London is going to have to start making threes to kind of force St. John's out of that zone defense.
In the meantime, London's been making up for those threes by having excellent ball movement. I mentioned the assist number earlier.
Yeah.
The way the ball's flying around the court, we always talk each pass giving the ball energy. And all that energy turns into buckets, and that's a lot of what London's been doing.
And that's the thing. The reason London is still producing offensively is they're cutting, they're moving. Garrett Williams, who might be the king of it, of that type of action on offense, really taking charge, cutting to the ball, forcing guys to move. It's been, that's how they've been able to counter it, but I think as this game goes on, you're going to have to start hitting your threes.
All right, so we return to the second quarter. 5:56 remaining here in the half. The Lightning with the 34-32 advantage. They will have control of the ball here. Herring Jr. starts the clock. Mo Bolden setting a screen for him, almost paving the way for Herring Jr., but he's going to feed Bolden. Bolden's going to... Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah. The referee had to think about that for a second. Bolden couldn't get the ball out of his hands in time, so an obvious travel call there.
I don't know what the pause was.
Skeet feeds low to Ford, but Ford can't handle the ball. He kicks out to Lee. Herring Jr. right in his pocket, though. Lee's going to take that three. No good. Williamson with the rebound. Kyle Johnson leaves it for Herring Jr. Over to Bolden. Bolden's going to drive. Step jumper, no good from Bolden. That's Lee with the rebound. And a big mistake there from Lee, but Skeet manages to corral the ball. Lee's going to step up, take a three, and that's a good three ball from Desmond Lee.
Something they kind of needed, too. The Edge also struggling with the three ball. They need that so that it becomes more dangerous and open up space for Ryan Reed down low.
Williamson with the finish to Bolden. Not so emphatic, but a great pass and a great finish from Bolden there. Carl English step back three. No good off the side of the rim. Williamson leaves it for Bolden.
I think we lost a beer.
Oh, no. Herring Jr. forcing Skeet back. Williamson will drive off the glass. Cannot finish, but Herring Jr. size mismatched under the net. Throws that ball back in. Lee over to English. Ryan Reed. English, quick three. No good. Ford under the net. Grabs that ball back. Anderson with the turnover. Herring Jr. moving quickly down the court, and the Edge are going to foul to prevent the fast break points there from the Lightning.
Yeah, it would have been free points for London, so make them earn it.
Grandy Glaze and Wally Ellenson stepping on the floor for the Edge. Anderson. Desmond Lee's going to pick up the foul, getting in Anderson's way as he's trying to move further into the corner.
Seen a lot of fouls in this game, but really only one player in any sort of trouble with them. Doug Herring Jr., 3 fouls.
Ryan Anderson with the ball off the inbounds. Mo Bolden leaves it for Williamson. Williamson going around Glaze. And just those soft hands of Williamson, just easy touch off the glass. And once again, and Carl English runs over Garrett Williamson. And offensive fouls in this game. I don't know if I've seen a whole game's worth of charges that I have just in this quarter alone.
I think that's 4 or 5 now. Might be more than that even.
So the Lightning have jumped out to a 5-point advantage, 3.5 remaining here in the second quarter. Herring Jr. over to Bolden. Bolden leaves it for Anderson. Anderson takes the 2. No good. English with the rebound. English leaves it for Glaze. And Mo Bolden with the big denial there of Glaze. Glaze trying to be patient and let the other team leave their feet, but Bolden patient as well.
Hey, Glaze left his feet, but Bolden turned it into a no-fly zone.
English, step back, feeds out to Glaze. English down low to Glaze. Great decision there. Glaze goes off the glass. Great vision there by Carl English to draw defenders and give Glaze a look. Herring Jr. He's going to drive. Steps back. Two-pointer. No good. That's Lee with the rebound. Skeet. Sets up screen around Glaze. Glaze feeds to English. English is going to drive. Williamson, though, great defense. Little too strong.
Brilliant
Anderson
defense.
grabs the rebound. And Skeet's going to pick up the foul there.
Yeah, I wonder how many fouls that the Edge have picked up have been in transition. London's been giving them a lot of trouble. Some of them are intentional, but there's been just a lot of fouls picked up on the run, nowhere near the basket.
The Edge have to be careful now. 2.5 remaining here. Herring Jr. can't finish that basket. That was a great feed from Anderson off the inbounds, though. Lee steps up, thinks 3. Holds on to it instead.
English and Anderson.
Anderson and English getting into a little bit of trouble over there. Fouls on the floor. So the Edge will inbounds. Henkel's going to jump back into the game. So Karan Williams handles the ball for the Edge. And that's going to be an offensive foul the other way. My goodness. The Edge with another turnover off a foul.
There's almost as many offensive fouls as defensive ones in this game. But yeah, I think the screen, just a little extra step to stick the hip out there, caused that foul.
Anderson feeds Herring Jr. Got some size over Karan Williams. Karan Williams not giving him much, though. Karan Williams is going to pick up the foul. Glaze with the emphatic block just after the whistle blows.
Was worried that might blow up a bit, but it seems like everyone's going to stay calm. I love when Doug Herring Jr., he's had a bit of a rough shooting night. One of the ways he seems to get himself going is when he backs down and posts up the smaller guards of the NBL Canada. Because realistically, Doug Herring Jr. is probably the biggest point guard in this league. So him being able to back down those smaller guards, get close to the basket, make it an easier shot on himself, that's what kind of gets him going. And I also think the physicality of posting up a guy also gets him a little bit of adrenaline pump and a little bit of energy towards the rest of the game.
So despite that foul being on the floor, that does put the Edge over the limit for the quarter. So Herring Jr. with his free throws here. 2 for 2 for Herring Jr. Back to a 5-point lead for the Lightning. 1:58 remaining here in the second, 42-37. Williams leading the offense. Henkel waiting for a setup. He'll leave it for Williams. Moves around the screen of Reed. Williams with a 3 from the top of the arc, and Williams finishes with a great 3-ball.
Big, they needed that.
Anderson, once again, feeding Herring Jr. Might be looking to take Williams for a ride again down low. Williams trying to use his body. Feeds Williamson under the basket. A great block by Ryan Reed. Charging in. Smashing that ball off the glass. English thinks 3, but he's going to drive. Little floater won't go. Anderson with the rebound.
Heard Mo Bolden's footsteps.
Williamson's going to drive. Over Hinkle, cannot finish, but gets his own rebound. Bolden up top, open three look, but no, he'll go to Williamson down low. Williamson waits for Hinkle to finish over top of him, and Williamson grabs a quick two.
Good discipline by London, not forcing up a three-pointer, instead getting themselves the easy two.
Ryan Reed under the net to Desmond Lee, who can't finish, but there's Williams with the rebound, but Herring Jr. gives him difficulties. Feeds to Anderson. Anderson waits for Lee to pass by. Three ball, no good. Ryan Anderson's three is not falling so far today. That's Lee the other way. Williamson gets a hand in on that. Herring Jr. dishes for Bolden with the big two-handed slam. What a finish. What an effort both ways from the Lightning, offensively and defensively. Tom, 28 seconds off the clock out of that foul. Amazing sequence there.
Amazing sequence, and I like when the game gives me a nice segue. So the segue is the fact that the points off turnovers. If you look at it right now, London with a decisive advantage. It's the reason they've got a 6-point lead. 12-1 when I last checked. That's been an absolute factor, and we just saw it there. Obviously St. John's thinks that maybe that shouldn't have been a turnover, maybe that should have been a foul, but it went the other way. Mo Bolden with the slam. And that's been the story so far that's really propelled London ahead at this point.
You know, I think it has been interesting for the London Lightning. We talk about that movement on offense that was kind of not there, but their movement on defense has been just as impressive. I mean, but anytime there's a guy on the edge who has even a second of breath, there's a Lightning jersey right on him.
Let's give a shout out to Friesen Laddie here. You want to talk about a guy came into the game, showed a lot of that movement on defense, energy, getting in guys' chests, really forcing some plays. Marcus Capers also. Interesting defense, head-first defense. That was a unique
I think
approach,
both of them, though, when
energy.
they came in. Both of them when they came in. Not that London wasn't doing it before, but we weren't seeing the movement, obviously a little bit tired legs, and I think those guys kept in. It kept that momentum going on the defensive end.
You mentioned those big names, and they've returned to the court for the last 30 seconds of the quarter, hoping for some big defensive stops here. Hinkle with the three over top of Friesen Laddie, no good. That's Karan Williams rushing in there, grabbing the rebound, though. That's going to be a jump ball, so that'll be Lightning possession. So Coach Vassell is going to call a timeout here, drop an offensive play with 12 seconds left. You love the heart of Karan Williams there, jumping in and getting the rebound over the big man, but smart move by Mo Bolden to just wrap around that ball, keep the jump ball in the Lightning favor.
Great hustle. Again, Karan Williams, though, is getting that because Reed is taking up so much space down low that the guards are able to sneak in. When you got a guy with the presence of Reed, that takes up a lot of your focus as a rebounder defensively, and St. John's has done a great job of really having their guards into the play to when Reed can't get the ball, they're getting the ball.
All right, you're Coach Vassell. What are you drawing up here?
Something to the rim. At this point, usually when I think of out of timeout plays for the London Lightning, I think of Ryan Anderson off some screen action. I think you might want to look for something for Garrett Williamson going to the rim. He's been effective with that. I think that's been your best offense so far.
It's been their bread and butter all game.
Unless you can get a point off turnover here, that's been the best offense, at least in the half court. So that would be something I'm looking for. You're trying to get Garrett moving and see if he can create pressure on the defense.
Williamson leading scorer for the London Lightning and leading scorer for the entire game at 14 points. He's also added 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
Again, we jump back into that. If you can keep London in under 50 points in the first half, you're well into controlling this game. But the Lightning have done just as good a job towards the edge as the Edge have done towards the Lightning. So barring something crazy, once again, the Lightning under 50 points, but they're going to go into the half with the lead. Williamson driving, jumper doesn't go. Brempong grabs the rebound as time ticks off the clock in the first half. We'll go in there with the London Lightning leading the St. John's Edge 46-40. Brendan with Chris and Tom. We're going to head over to Aaron and Justin with the halftime show.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. 6-point lead for the Lightning over the Edge as we approach halftime here. This is the Knockstrom halftime. JP, a couple of notes to jot down before we get things started. Number one, we just talked to a couple of fans right here, and they said they realized that without Royce White, this is a much faster, much more aggressive team. I mean, if you see from how many attempts they got from the offensive rebounds and the second chance opportunities, I think that foots the bill.
Yeah, both teams in the double digits, in fact, for offensive rebounds right now. But the main thing that sticks out with London right now, their ability to force turnovers and then score on them. That has been one of their main advantages all night, in double digits already for that. Double digits on second chance points, double digits on points in the paint, obviously, at 28. This is a team that plays very differently, as you're seeing here. Much more higher tempo and a bit more energy here and right now. If it wasn't for those forced turnovers and the points off turnovers they've been forcing, this will be a whole different ball game.
Aside from that, how is St. John's pulling through and making this only just a 6-point game?
Well, for one, with the amount of fouls in the early part of the game, it's a 12-4 advantage on made free throws. So that's part of why they're in this game. But as well, they've been just having us, while shooting lower percentage-wise, they've been just having better shot selection in terms of not as many threes put up compared to London, for example, trying to put up quality shots. But for both sides, with both teams on the offensive rebound double digits, it's just been an absolute struggle in terms of trying to get a flow for these guys. For St. John's, I think, they just got to keep on trying to force misses for London, because 2 of 17 from deep was London. That's in part with selection and inconsistency, in part, though, too, the defense that St. John's has been providing for their side.
And in addition to that, you got to keep in mind of the defensive boards, too. You even said double digits on the offensive boards, but on the defensive boards, you got to tag to the St. John's edge. You said they're forcing them to take shots from the outside, and there's always 3 edge players out there to get the rebound, so that's one of their edge, and that's one of their advantages, too.
Yeah, it is right now, and what I've noticed on the offensive side with that, where St. John's getting to that shot selection, a lot of it's inside out at times for today so far, in my opinion. Have a good double team inside from London. Someone's left wide open, though, or it's a triple team, for example. So it's just going to come down, I think, who has the better game plan here, and might have to be a bit tweaking here away from the three-point shot for London, because or else they're going to be absolutely buried in terms of their shooting if St. John starts off well offensively to start off the third and doesn't shoot. 28% for the half.
Absolutely. I see a couple of key players for both the Edge and the Lightning. For the Edge, we see Wally Ellison, and you know who else to size up against him from the London Lightning without the guy like Marcus Capers or Julian Boyd, because we're seeing Julian Boyd, every time he's on the court, you can see a lot of confidence. You can see a lot of poise and a lot of power. So you could tell those matchups might be the difference maker in the second half, considering how things are going in the rebound department. But then again, who knows?
Who knows for sure. I agree with you with the matchups, where they have been definitely stepping up in this one. As you mentioned, Ellison, as you mentioned, Boyd. I think Garrett Williamson also has been getting into that mix as well. You know, and Morrisdale Costa set himself on Twitter a few moments ago, trying to rally his team back into this one with the diverse play. He's been trying to set up plays inside, trying to set up assists for his teammates. That's what I think that they need. They need somebody to step up and be consistent and not just put up shot after shot that bounces off the front of a rim, or else you're going to be buried in a mountain of bricks.
Let's wrap it up right here. We got a special halftime performance. What's going to be the keys here for the final 24 minutes?
For the final 24 minutes, St. John's got to make sure you make your shots and maybe force more fouls, because that's been one of your bread and butters to bring yourself to the line. Limit the turnovers and fix the ball control, or else you're going to allow the main advantage for London. London's going to cause a lot of pressure as that first point for the keys to the second half. They're going to try and force more turnovers, try and go more up-tempo, try and get this to a double-digit lead by about the 7 minutes to go mark in the quarter, if not 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Also expect to see maybe less three-point shots and more pick and rolls, more cuts inside, more penetration offense to try and get that together, to try and do exactly that, to get themselves a big win. It's going to be coming down to who has the best strategy, or else it's going to be an absolute thrower again for more oxygen tanks.
Well, it's either be Game 7 or will it be another ticket punch for the London Lightning in the NBL Canada Finals? We've got 24 more minutes of action to go here. Brendan Jameson and Tom and Chris Croucher will be on the call. We'll see you folks at the Knockstrom postgame, but for now, enjoy this wonderful halftime performance. We'll be back for the second half here on Knockstrom TV.
right, basketball fans, welcome back to the second half of this Knoxstrom TV Gamecast. Brennan Jameson along with Chris and Tom Croucher here in Budweiser Gardens in London, Ontario. The Lightning jumped out to a 46-40 lead in the first half, Chris. Chris, once again a game that the Edge have put the Lightning under 50 first half points. The presence of Royce White doesn't really seem to be affecting the Lightning. We know they played without him in the past and have been successful, and they've done it so far in this game.
Well, I feel like the Lightning have always kind of had two different playbooks. Your playbook when Royce has the ball in his hands and your playbook when he doesn't. And I feel for London that they were always going to be prepared to play without Royce White if they had to. And again, I think it actually kind of worked out well. The way Boyd and Bolden played down low kind of gave them that nice mix of length and physicality. Versatility of Mo Bolden cannot be understated. His ability to take the bulk of the minutes down low, as opposed to kind of playing that small forward role we've seen from him, has been excellent. He's continued to play excellent defense the entire way as well. Same goes for Julian Boyd, who maybe loses a little bit on size to Ryan Reed, but has completely matched up well physically.
That's Jaron Skeet driving the lane to start the game for the Edge, and he gets a quick two out of the half there. Jaron Skeet moving past the much larger Mo Bolden to get a basket.
Sorry with any camera difficulties we might be having here.
Garrett Williamson with the handles. Ryan Anderson deals down to Bolden. Bolden's going to push English back. He'll take a jumper. No good. Lee jumps in there for the rebound. Skeet moving quickly. Cross court to Lee. Lee down low to Reed. Reed's going to back up Boyd. Using that body, Reed gets the floater over Boyd.
Perfect. That's exactly what you want out of Reed.
Aaron Jr. feeds Boyd in the corner. Boyd's going to drive to the net, kicks out to Bolden. Bolden with his first three of the game, and he finds his way in.
You know, one of the things we were talking about during that halftime, the first team to start making their threes could just win this game. London Lightning getting a nice start. They really struggled from beyond the arc in the first half.
Reed dishes to Skeet, top of the arc. No good, but that's Hinkle who grabs the rebound. English moves around the screen of Hinkle. He's going to drive the lane, and that's going to be a foul on Mo Bolden on the floor.
Can't say again enough good things about the ball movement of the London Lightning, and St. John's going to need some of that. The assist right now 20-9.
English with his first made three of the game. Quick catch and release shooting from the MVP.
So now we got a three-pointer from each side. Which teams are going to be able to keep it up?
Ryan Anderson keeping Lee on the move. Anderson drives, but Lee with a great defensive play. And he's going to go the other way, drives to the rim, and the Edge have tied the game up. 49-49. Just 2 minutes gone out of this half. Aaron Jr. dishes to Williamson, down low to Boyd.
You know, I think the Edge got pretty lucky that that foul was called, because Boyd had to just make one pass to Anderson, and that was going to be a three. Right in the corner, Anderson was wide open.
So Herring Jr. is going to inbounds here. Kicks to Boyd. Over to Anderson. Anderson over to Boyd. Boyd with the big one-handed finish. And the Edge just kind of got out of the way there as Julian Boyd charged down the lane. English feeds the beast Reed. Reed runs over Williamson. No whistles. Williamson with his feet moving. Reed once again goes to the rim, and Reed, when he's found his way to the floor, just makes a big impact for the Edge. Aaron Jr. gets the clock going. Herring Jr. feeds to Boyd. Boyd thinks 3, but feeds it back to Herring Jr., who takes it 3. No good. Lee with the rebound. Lee charging down the court. That's just going to be an out-of-bounds call on the Lightning, so the Edge will maintain possession.
Played well by Anderson there. Could have been an easy bucket.
Skeet dishes to English. Williamson's going to pick up the foul there, holding on Carl English.
Can hear Coach Vassell from up here.
English with control of the ball up top. Mo Bolden. Reed sets up the screen. English goes the other way. Dishes to Hinkle in the corner. No good. Williamson with the rebound. Williamson driving to Anderson for 3. No good. Herring Jr. runs that rebound down, though. Dishes again to Anderson. Takes another 3, and he finds it. And we know Ryan Anderson is not going to stop shooting that ball.
He was standing too close to the three-point line as we see Skeet and Herring Jr. getting into it.
Herring Jr. is going to pick up the foul there. And that might be trouble for Herring Jr. I believe that's his 4th.
That is indeed.
Hinkle with control. That's Lee handling the ball for the Edge. Lee's going to drive, tries to make his way past Anderson. Great defensive play by Anderson there. Herring Jr. picks the ball up. He's going to drive the lane. Herring Jr. coast to coast, can't finish. Herring Jr. landed hard down at the other end, though, folks. He's back on his feet. Hinkle takes a 3 with nobody on him. Skeet 3 from the top of the arc, and that falls for the Edge. There's bodies all over the place. Nobody in position really for either team there.
2 London Lightning players just standing on the other end, didn't get back.
That's Lee who's picked it, and we've got a technical on the floor.
I believe on Herring Jr.
Herring Jr. yet just saying too much. So free throws for the Edge here. And possession.
Undisciplined. Just gave the Edge an opportunity to take the lead here. You're up 3 seconds ago.
Carl English with the make, and the St. John's will have possession here. So 55-54, St. John's leading. 7.5 remaining here in the third. Cron Williams dishes to English. English open 3. And the MVP has started making his looks.
Disastrous,
and
all
that's
one tech.
Trouble for the London Lightning. Williamson. Carl English is going to pick up the hold there on Julian Boyd. That's Rensford Brempong stepping into the game. Ryan Reed will take a break. Garrett Williamson over to Boyd. Boyd, great pass to Anderson, and that's Ellenson stepping in for the hard foul on Ryan Anderson.
Beautiful pass. Everyone on the edge thinking Anderson was going to take that 3. Instead makes a quick cut to the basket. Blew by his defender. Ellenson really had no choice but to foul Ryan Anderson on that one.
Anderson misses his first, though.
Got to make your free throws, kids.
And that's big at this point in the game. 1 for 2 for Anderson. Hinkle with control. Over to Ellenson. Kicks to English. English down on his knees. Trying to make a move past Bolden. Spins. Can't get anything off, but Hinkle feeds it. Clock resets. Ellenson gets the ball off the glass. Anderson kind of using Boyd as an escort. Kicks to Williamson. Williamson for three, and a great make from Garrett Williamson. We're used to seeing him more around the rim, but Garrett Williamson, he can make his threes when he's tempted.
That extra pass from Julian Boyd was just a dream of a pass.
Brempong backing up Anderson, using that length, gets right over Anderson. Great move by Brempong there.
Total mismatch there. Not much Anderson can do.
Johnson kicks over to Bolden. Bolden down low to Boyd. Boyd off the glass, can't finish. That's Williams with the rebound. Boyd's on his butt, needs to get back. Ellenson drives the rim off the glass and in for Ellenson. Over to Boyd. Boyd with the jumper, and that's good from Julian Boyd. 64-60 as the offensive pace picks up a little bit here. Mid-third quarter, 5.5 remaining.
I think the Edge intentionally slowing it down. London wants to play that fast pace right now.
Once again, Brempong mismatched on Ryan Anderson, and Brempong is just taking advantage of that. Garrett Williamson kicks to Boyd. Boyd thinks three, and that's a good three ball from Julian Boyd. And threes are falling more freely both ways for both teams here in the third. Cron Williams feeds Brempong again. He's got a mismatch against Kyle Johnson, but he kicks cross court to Ellenson for three. No good. Williamson with the rebound. Williamson quickly down court. Carl English is going to pick up the foul there to prevent the easy bucket. And we're going to take a immediate timeout. First time we've blown a long whistle here in the third. Tom, what are you taking away from the third quarter so far?
Wow, has that pace changed. Incredible pace change. I wanted to kind of make note on offense there. We saw Brempong get involved in the offense. Really a great two-man game that they had going off. They saw that mismatch with Ryan Anderson, attacked it consistently. They got 4 points out of it, 2 buckets. So interesting to see if that's a continued line of attack going forward. They're starting to hit threes. I mean, I feel like that's just this overarching narrative of this game right now is who, like you guys said, who's going to hit your threes first.
I think what makes me nervous about that, though, if I'm the London Lightning, is it's guys like Williamson making those threes. It's guys who don't usually do it, whereas the guys making threes for the Edge are guys who usually do take those 3 points. Those are the guys you don't want getting hot from beyond the arc. Yeah. So that's one thing I'd be a little bit nervous about with the Lightning. Lightning making threes is great, but Boyd and Williamson aren't going to be taking the bulk of them. Yeah. Whereas you're getting guys like English starting to make those threes. That scares me a bit if I'm London.
Yeah, no, Ryan Anderson hitting threes, he's such a dynamic player in a lot of ways, but his primary skill is the three-point shot, the catch and shoot. We saw him bury one there, but, I mean, that's really going to be the story of this game because, once again, St. John's has gone to a zone defense. London making a few. We're going to see if they shoot them out of that defense. We'll see, but wow, what a change in pace that we've seen already. And
I think it was a bit expected that London might need a bit of time to work out some kinks.
Yeah, but this is the London pace, though, which is interesting.
So now that they have that half where they got to work on that, they can come in here and go back to full speed, right?
Yeah, no, I think the London Lightning in transition. Turnovers, you can't fuel it with turnovers, and it's been a little bit more controlled. So I think we're just seeing also the adrenaline. These guys know that it's game 6, win or go home for the Edge.
Turnovers as well. The Edge need to make sure they don't let that number climb 14-9. The Edge with 14 turnovers there. Got to do a better job protecting that ball.
All right, so we return to the third quarter here. 4:50 on the clock. St. John's with a 3-point lead, 66-63. Coming out of that foul on the floor, Williamson to inbounds here. Kicks to Boyd. Boyd over to Anderson. Williamson setting up the offense. Down low to Boyd, who kicks over to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. drives baseline, kicks to Boyd underneath, and what a big one-handed slam by Julian Boyd.
Just about ripped the rim down.
With Wally Ellenson hanging off his back, too. And once again, those passes, getting open looks for the Lightning players, creating offense for them. Reed's going to back up Boyd. He kicks cross court to Hinkle. Down low again to Reed. And Garrett Williamson coming in for the help defense, but looks like he's going to pick up the foul. No, they call it on Julian Boyd, actually. Boyd's going to pick up the foul there.
Definitely wouldn't have been on Williamson. That was all ball, but...
Foul trouble pretty even for both teams in the third quarter, 5-5.
London with guys they got to worry about, though. 4 on Herring Jr., 3 on Mo Bolden and Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Reed with his first miss of the game.
Edge only have Desmond Lee at 3 fouls.
One for 2 for Ryan Reed.
I've got to say, we talked about crowd energy. This has been a pretty loud crowd for the Lightning tonight.
Ryan Anderson. Down low to Williams Jr. Goes off the glass, can't finish, but he'll go to the line.
We talked a lot in those first 2 games here in London about that crowd energy, though, and how it did impact the game, both with the way that the coaches were kind of manipulating their timeouts to get the crowd in and out of the game. We haven't seen as much of that. The crowd's been pretty consistently loud. Obviously, they're quiet right now for the foul shots, but pretty consistent energy from the crowd. I think it's helped the team.
Kirk Williams Jr. misses a free throw. Williams Jr. 0 for 2 from the line. Free throws have hurt this London team in the past and rearing their ugly head here too. Brempong dishes to Hinkle. Hinkle back to Lee. Lee thinks deep 3, but he'll drive. They're going to count the basket there on the push. So Lee for the 3-point play.
Desmond Lee pretty impactful tonight. That bucket only gives him 7 points, but he's had 11 rebounds for the Edge, getting them a lot of the extra opportunities to make up for those turnovers that they've had.
Finishes the 3-point play. Kirk Williams Jr. quickly to Williamson. Williamson over to Boyd. Boyd charging the rim. Reed looks like he's going to pick up the foul here.
Reed's been pretty good about his fouls today. That's only his 3rd. It's one of the concerns with Reed is he has been picking up quite a few fouls in the series.
Boyd gets his first. Two for 2 for Julian Boyd. Mo Bolden checks into the game for Boyd after those free throws. 70-67, St. John's holding the lead here. Lee dishes back to Williams. Williams top of the arc, big 3-ball, no good. That's going to go out off the hands of Brempong. Lightning control the ball.
London bringing the zone out there again.
Williamson controls for the Lightning, kicks to Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson up top to Williamson. Williamson feeds Bolden. Anderson trying to back Desmond Lee up. He goes off the glass, no good, but Kirk Williams Jr. with the finish cannot, though. Brempong grabs the rebound. Williams quickly down the floor. Hinkle dishes to Brempong. He'll take a jumper, and Brempong with a nice little stroke there.
Brempong limited minutes, but very efficient for the Edge.
Anderson kicks to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. again driving glass, off the glass, 4-2. Desmond Lee, he's going to take his time with that 3 look, but no good. Kyle Johnson rebound. Anderson kicks corner to Kirk Williams Jr. Mo Bolden thinks 3, but he's going to drive, loses control, but Williamson, the benefit of that little bounce. Bolden, 3 ball, no good. That's Ryan Reed with the rebound. Williams over to lead, down low to Brempong. Much better matchup here, Bolden on Brempong. Length on length, he tries to twist and turn. Bolden gets his hands up though, that's the strong Ryan Reed. Bolden with another big block. They're gonna kick corner to Williams. 3 ball, no good. Great effort under the basket there from the Edge. Unfortunately cannot finish. Mo Bolden cross court to Johnson. Johnson takes a step in. Corner to Kirk Williams Jr. 3 ball good. And we've got a tie game here, 72-72. Down under 2 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. The crowd alive here in London, Ontario. Williams kicks to Brempong. Brempong takes another shot. And Brempong finding his way from distance.
4 of 5 shooting from Brempong tonight. 8 points off the bench.
Ryan Anderson driving, but Lee's going to pick up the foul. That's going to give him 4. He's going to be in trouble now. Big change here for the Edge. Xavier Ford, Carl English, and Jaron Skeet checking back onto the floor. That did put the Edge over the limit, so Anderson's going to take shots here. First falls. Two for 2 for Ryan Anderson. Back to a tie game. Joel Fries and Laddie checking in. Ryan Anderson takes a seat on the bench for him. Minute 13 on the clock. Skeet starts it. Skeet over to Reed. Reed into the corner to Ellenson. Ellenson 3 ball, not very good. Air ball. Fries and Laddie with the rebound. That's Xavier Ford with the foul. That's going to put Fries and Laddie at the line.
Never fouls a free throw from here on out.
But he can't make his first, unfortunate. Grandy Glaze waiting to check into the game. Friesen does sink his second, though. Glaze jumps back in for Reed. Down under a minute. Carl English with control. Glaze sets up the screen. Over to Ford, but Kirk Williams Jr. tries for the steal. And they're going to call over and back on the Edge.
A lot of delay for that one,
yeah,
too.
real delayed call from the referee there. They want to say that Williams Jr. had attempted possession. Williamson with the ball. Williamson driving, kicks to Bolden. Bolden thinks three. Down low to Williams Jr., who almost loses control. Williams Jr. over to Bolden. Bolden for three. No good. Friesen Laddie loses control of the ball. Doesn't think to chase. Thought it went out off his skeet. Edge get the turnover. About a 3-second difference, shot clock, game clock. Skeet trying to get rid of Friesen Laddie, but he's being a pest.
Whoa.
Kirk Williams Jr. just hit the deck hard.
Both Williams over Jr. and Friesen definitely hit a wet spot.
Carl English doesn't get that three. Xavier Ford with the ball. He's going to throw up a three of his own, and that falls. Great individual effort there from Xavier Ford as time runs off the clock here in the third. The Edge stuck 6 at the half, leave the third quarter with a 2-point lead. Tom, we didn't hear from you a lot in that quarter, but it's what we mentioned. The Edge making their threes has helped propel them into a lead in this game.
Absolutely. Like we said, going into this quarter, got to make your threes. Now, traditionally, by traditional metrics, both struggling, under 30%, but
even
starting to make some timely ones.
Even just a couple
exactly. I liked the intensity from guys like Friesen Laddie on defense. And also, shout out to Brent Pong coming in with a great effort shooting. They really took advantage of that mismatch down low, and it got him going. He got some easy buckets. And really, when your team's struggling shooting, that's the remedy. Get those easy buckets. Get a feel for the ball going through the hoop. That, and then you try and take that out further, and you find a lot of guys, that's how they get themselves going. So as we watch, you know, the more you can get down low, the more you can just see the ball go through the hoop, just build that confidence.
You know, those three-point shots, again, we talk about you don't even need to make a lot of them. But if you can make a couple and just make the defense think,
you got to make them think.
At least, as long as you're a threat from three-point land. You don't have to make every single one. It'd be great, but no one's shooting 100%. But you have to make a couple just to make the defense think about it.
You got to make that defender maybe not lean in so much on helping out. You got to make him think, I don't know if I can help. I've got a shooter. He might make this one. That's how you open up those lanes. So you're right, exactly. It's not just about hitting three-pointers. It's about opening stuff up. Exactly. I thought what was interesting, too, is that, and part of where St. John's went on that great run was they really spaced the floor. They had essentially the court doing a two-man game and basically put all the other players on the weak side, opened up space. They got some easy looks. Again, interested to see if that's something they kind of note and are like, okay, if we need a bucket down the line here as we're getting to crunch time, maybe that's something we run.
Something worth noting there at the end, they did change that Xavier Ford call from a 3 to a 2. So the Edge with only a 1-point lead, 76-75, 12 minutes remaining here in the game. Lightning begin this quarter with possession. Brendan, Tom, and Chris in the booth with this Knoxstrom TV Gamecast from London, Ontario in the Budweiser Gardens. Bolden driving, little jumper over Reed, falls and one. Great move by Bolden to force the foul on Reed. That's number 4 on Reed as well.
You know, with Brent Pong having such a strong game, it's not as huge a loss if Reed has to come out here, which it looks like they're going to be doing.
Bolden finishes his free throw. Skeet dishes to Reed. Reed's going to leave it back for Skeet. Couldn't find a friend elsewhere. Skeet for 3, no good. That's Williams Jr. with the rebound. Bolden moving quickly down court. Kicks to Kyle Johnson out in 3 land, no good. English with the rebound. Capers and Skeet tied down away from the play. Skeet's going to pick up the foul.
I think they both got one.
Never mind, yeah, Capers and Skeet. A little bit of misconduct away from the play.
Here, we saw earlier on where the refs weren't really giving out too many of the matching fouls. I think you got to start doing that just because it settles the game down a bit. You don't have one team getting more frustrated than the other over stuff like that. Good way to kind of keep the calm going.
So Skeet with the ball again. Him and Capers still matched up. And we're going to have another offensive foul. That's Carl English. Got an elbow up in the face of Friesen Laddie. And once again, the defensive presence of Friesen Laddie just being a pest, stuck right in your pocket, forcing the other team to make mistakes.
You know, Friesen Laddie, a huge part of 2 different championship teams. First the Halifax Hurricanes, and then again last year with the London Lightning, and just one of the most annoying defenders in the NBL. So good at drawing those calls that make you look up to the sky. So good at just staying in the pocket on a guy. And of course, Canadian and U Sports grad.
So Ellenson's going to spell English for a moment here. English not in a quick pace to get to the bench there, maybe showing his disdain.
Ooh, had some words for a fan there.
That's Williams Jr. driving. He gets the lay-in. Williams Jr. starting the half big. Starting the quarter big, sorry. Jaron Skeet over to Ford. Ford, that's a great pickoff by Marcus Capers, who feeds to Bolden. Bolden's got to wait up, though, so they'll reset. Great presence of mind by Charles Hinkle. And that's Brempong. Feeds Ford down low. Friesen Laddie comes in with a tough foul. But he's going to send Ford to the line for free throws.
Make him earn it from the line. I'm okay with that foul.
Capers just a little too strong on that pass from Bolden, which led to Bolden having to reset.
Hinkle he was smart to lead him.
Hinkle with the presence of mind to just poke it out of Bolden's hands. So Ford gets his first.
St. John's significantly out-rebounding the London Lightning in the second half.
So 1 for 2 for Ford. That's Capers with the rebound. Kicks to Williams Jr. 3-ball, no good. Kyle Johnson tries to throw that out for Friesen Laddie, but Xavier Ford there. He'll drive the lane. Wally Ellenson, and that's going to be a foul on the edge.
Not sure who on the edge got it.
I believe that's Wally Ellenson with the push in the back. No, it's going the edge way. So there was a foul on the Lightning.
Gave matching fouls.
Another set of matching fouls, apparently. Says Tom out here. Our extra set of eyes in the booth. So Hinkle with control. Hinkle driving the lane from the top of the free throw line. Can't finish. Bolden with the rebound. Bolden kicks to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. is going to back Brempong up over top of Brempong. No good.
Good defense from Brempong. Didn't give up any ground. Whoa.
Desmond Lee finds Brempong. Bolden from behind comes in for help.
Uh-oh.
And once again, we're going to get matching foul. Friesen Laddie and Brempong. Looks like we're going to get technicals here, matching ones. So we'll kind of wait to see how this gets sorted out.
I don't know what the stare down at Williams Jr. was for. You didn't make the bucket. I mean, congrats on the miss.
So the refs still trying to sort things out here.
It should be a tech on Brempong, a tech on Friesen Laddie, and then the original foul would send Brempong to the line.
Yes.
So I would think they'd let London. Well, if it's matching technicals, I guess they don't need to do the shot, but.
So I think we've just reset here, so I think we're just going to get Brempong with his original foul shots. Misses his first.
Friesen Laddie helping the crowd out.
That's a couple hundred fans saying ball don't lie right there. And 1 for 2 for Brempong. 80-78, just under 10 minutes remaining in the game. Capers, he drives, kicks out to Johnson. Johnson cuts in. Outside to Friesen Laddie, takes a three. No good. Friesen Laddie ends up on his tuchus. Capers jumps over the bench, ends up with some fans. Friesen Laddie gets up. Appears to be fine. Went out off the rim without any touching any hands, so the Edge with possession. Brempong over to Lee. Lee cross court to Williams. Williams trying to get rid of Friesen Laddie. He kicks out to Hinkle. Hinkle over to Brempong. Brempong with another jumper. No good. Bolden grabs a rebound. Quickly up to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. is going to drive. Kicks out to Capers, who robs Kyle Johnson. Friesen Laddie's second three-point attempt is good.
Beautiful passing from the London Lightning to set that up. Each player made the right pass, giving Friesen Laddie that wide open look. Beautiful offense again.
Williams, the switch. Hinkle with the ball now. He drives. Mo Bolden changes the direction of that shot. Friesen Laddie kicks to Bolden. Bolden back to Friesen Laddie. Brempong almost knocks Friesen Laddie down with his leg on the whip there. Kirk Williams Jr. And that, the spin on that ball. Whoa. And I believe we've got a St. John's timeout here. We've seen this before. Coach Jeff Dunlap wanting to slow down this Lightning roll and take the crowd out of it. Another great move from Coach Dunlap.
Yeah, no, great. Sensing the pace of the game, sensing the momentum swinging here. The crowd, great Sunday afternoon crowd here for the London Lightning, and it's got its reputation for good reason, for being an intimidating place to play. The crowd doing its part.
I think I actually want to keep talking on the crowd there, because I think when Brempong did the stare down with Williams Jr., he was trying to fire up his team a bit. I think it backfired because it brought the crowd right back into this game. Yeah. Crowd got loud again. Yep. And then when he missed the free throw, crowd got even louder. And those kind of things, they just give the team energy. It gets the pace going a bit, and I think that kind of worked against the Edge.
I agree. I also think, you know what else gives energy to a crowd? Defensive hustle. You know who's bringing that today? Friesen Laddie. Friesen Laddie, maybe not compared to last season as many minutes, maybe not seeing the floor.
Well, this is him returning from a concussion.
Exactly. And, you know, a little rougher year for him, right? This is the Friesen Laddie we saw last year. Impactful on offense, able to stretch the floor defensively today. And we're talking about getting that crowd energized. Yeah, getting up on it, you know, playing some tough defense, playing with energy. Obviously hitting a three always gets the crowd hype. Really brought a bit of spark so far for the Lightning.
All right, so we return to the floor here. The Lightning have jumped back to their halftime lead, +1, 85-78. 8.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Fouls gonna play a big thing down the stretch here. We're only 3.5 into this quarter, 5 and 4 respectively for these teams. Friesen Laddie with the defensive pickoff. Unfortunately, the toe's on the line, but you say his name and it's like he hears us all the way up here in the booth. Just says, I gotta make one more for you guys. So Williams with control of the ball. To Reed. Reed and Brempong both on the floor again. The Edge looking to use that size and strength to bully themselves some points here in the fourth. Brempong down low to Hinkle. Hinkle gets the little floater around Friesen Laddie. Once again with a zone there from the Edge. Capers kicks to Bolden. Bolden, jumper from the top of the top of the key, no good. Lee over to Williams. Friesen Laddie with playing up on the acting of, and Reed patient there, takes the foul from Capers and finishes his play. And the Edge have come out of that timeout using their size and their strength to take advantage of the Lightning down low.
And again, that timeout just kind of changing the momentum up.
But Reed misses his free throw, so still a 3-point advantage for the Lightning. I mean, you look at the bottom of that zone right now between, oh, what a great pass from Williams Jr., just as I'm about to mention it. But I mean, between Reed, Brempong, and Hinkle down the bottom of that zone, that's a lot of length for the Lightning to try and get through, but they managed to mismatch
like
it
that,
there. Yeah. So Reed dishes over to Brempong, leaves it for Hinkle. Quick catch and release three, no good. That's Capers with the rebound. Williams is going to pick up the foul. A little too aggressive there in his effort. Kyle Johnson dishes back to Capers. Capers will control the ball down the court for now.
Edge about to do something a little risky. Carl English getting ready to check back into the game, sitting at 5 fouls.
Kirk Williams Jr. feeds Kyle Johnson in the corner. Over to Capers. Capers dishes to Williams Jr., thinks three, kicks to Bolden. Bolden down low to Williams Jr. Ball doesn't go, but Reed's going to pick up the foul here, and that's number 5 on Ryan Reed.
So both English and Reed, two of the most influential players on the Edge, facing foul difficulties. Both of them can't really make any mistakes the rest of the way.
The Edge trying to figure out who's coming off the floor here. It's going to be Reed off the floor. Hinkle remains.
I think originally it was going to be Hinkle coming off and English going on, but because Reed picked up that 5th one, it'll be Reed taking the seat.
The Williams Jr. at the charity stripe for 2 here.
Kind of a surprising stat. Leading scorer for the St. John's Edge, Carl English, with only 13 points.
So 1 for 2 for Williams Jr. there. Lee grabs the rebound off the free throw. Brempong with the ball, over to Lee. Brempong sets up the screen, Lee moves around it. He's trying to drive past Bolden. Bolden makes it tough. That's Friesen Laddie grabbing the rebound. Williams Jr. leaves it for Kyle Johnson, steps around, goes to Friesen Laddie, kicks to Bolden for 3. No good. Kyle Johnson tries to bat that ball in, but he goes over the back of Desmond Lee, so that's going to be Kyle Johnson picking up the foul. Friesen Laddie getting a great applause from the crowd as he checks out of the game here. Garrett Williamson back on the floor for the Lightning.
Friesen Laddie just a huge part of this Lightning lead that they have right now, and a guy who was dealing with a concussion, missed a lot of time for that, and I think this is the first game where we saw Joel Friesen back to the level we're kind of used to from him.
So Lee sinks his first, and I guess it's big to mention, an offensive foul the other way. The Lightning are over the limit. 6 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
There's a lot of gimme points that they could give up here.
So Lee goes 1 for 2, though. Kirk Williams Jr. grabs the rebound. And the Edge are only 1 away from going over the limit as well, so this game could really slow down in the coming minutes. Kirk Williams Jr. driving, and Little falls its way in. Kirk Williams Jr.
Very effective.
Has made his presence felt in this game. That's Williams, shoots the three from the top of the arc, and a great finish there from Williams.
Big
Gets his
answer.
look around the screen. Mo Bolden dishes back to Williams Jr. Bolden backing up Brempong, takes the jumper over top of him. Williamson, big rebound, jumps in there. Williamson, Bolden's gonna back up Brempong again, feeds out to Kyle Johnson. Over to Bolden, Bolden fakes three. Bolden no good from three though. Henkel with the rebound. Henkel driving. And that's gonna be a charge on Charles Henkel. Great defensive play there on the other end from Mo Bolden. They're going to step Reed back into the game with 5 fouls, so the Edge have to be careful here. You got 2 guys on the floor with 5 fouls.
I'm okay with the risk of that, though, because you want to get yourself in the driver's
And sorry, correct me here. That's an offensive foul. That puts the Edge over the limit. I believe
Yes.
that should have been free throws for the Lightning.
No, that would be the first one to set them at the limit.
Right. So Williams Jr. trying to back up Henkel using his strength. Gets under the basket. Henkel with a great defensive play, though. Capers grabs a rebound. Skeet with a great play. Jaron Skeet driving down the floor. Desmond Lee, he's finally going to get fouled by Marcus Capers. So Lee will go to the line here. But really a great hustle play from both Capers and Williams Jr. getting down the floor there. Capers will step off the floor for Ryan Anderson. Lee can't convert his first. The crowd loves it. They're making themselves known here this afternoon in the Bud. So 1 for 2 for Lee. 90-87, 4.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Garrett Williamson looking for the pass to Anderson. Williams Jr. with the handle. He feeds Anderson. Anderson up top to Johnson. Johnson over to Williamson. Williamson takes the shot. And Williamson with a great shot from the top of the key.
All reliable.
Jaron Skeet feeds English. English with the catch and release 3, and the MVP is just about automatic from there. Williamson directing some traffic. He's going to get inside. Dishes to Anderson in the corner. No good from Ryan Anderson.
Beautiful pass to set that up. Unfortunately, Anderson unable to deliver.
Jaron Skeet. Down low to Brempong. Brempong could use that length to get past Williamson. He's trying. He pitches to Carl English, though, but Mo Bolden getting in there defensively. Ryan Anderson almost throws that ball away. Williamson alertly turns that around. Kyle Johnson driving, but he can't finish. Brempong's going to pick up the foul, though. So Kyle Johnson will go to the line here. So lots of defensive substitutions here for St. John's with just 3 minutes remaining.
English
Also
still talking to the ref.
Trying to keep his star players out of foul trouble here as well. Kyle Johnson gets his first.
Again, English at 5, Reed at 5, but I'm okay putting them in because I think the Edge kind of smell blood a bit. I think they see the chance and the opportunity to try to take a lead, so they just want to get themselves in the driver's seat and then worry about the foul situation.
2 for 2 for Kyle Johnson, 94-90. Williams moving Lee around. Lee finds English. English down low to Reed. Reed driving. Spin around jumper. Does a couple bounces. Brempong with the rebound. We're going to get a hold here. So Brempong to the line. That's Mo Bolden picking up the foul. That's 4th for Mo Bolden. The crowd roaring, trying to get Rensford Brempong off his game. But he goes 2 for 2. Williamson slashing down the court, feeds Johnson. Julian Boyd slows things down. Kicks out to Bolden. Bolden pushing. Great move by Bolden, and unfortunately cannot finish. Williams, and that's going to be a moving screen on Brempong. Fortunately did not set his feet, getting in the way of Kyle Johnson.
It's only 3 on Brempong, but considering he's your Ryan Reed insurance, you don't want to see him picking up any extra fouls either.
Anderson trying to make a move around Lee. Pushing, kicks to Williamson. Williamson thinks 3, but resets. He drives. Loses control, though. Carl English with a great defensive move. Williamson not giving up at the basket here.
Man. No quit from Garrett Williamson.
Cron Williams kicks out to Reed. Reed trying to drive Bolden back towards the net. That little hook shot over Bolden. Anderson moving down court. Boyd sets up the screen for him. Anderson over to Bolden. Bolden driving off the glass, and that's Ryan Reed. That's 6 on Ryan Reed, so that's
the end of his
That's
night.
it for him. So Charles Hinkle's going to get back on the floor here for the Edge. 1.5 minutes remaining. That's huge for St. John's. Not having Ryan Reed on the floor, he's really just been a lightning killer ever since he joined the Edge just a few months ago.
Leaves the game having a pretty efficient night. 5 of 10 shooting, 14 points, 8 rebounds. And really, he was the most effective guy down low. Other than some spurts from Rensford Brempong, Reed was the only guy doing it start to finish.
Bolden sinks his first. So 2 for 2 for Bolden. 98-94. 1.5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Cron Williams kicks to Lee. Carl English directing some traffic. English with a big 3 from the top of the arc. No good, but Cron Williams, right place, right time with the rebound. Dishes cross court to Hinkle from the corner. No good. Lips out from Hinkle. That's Boyd with the rebound. Anderson in control of the ball. Cron Williams just mugs Ryan Anderson, though, so Anderson will go to the line here for free throws. We are down under a minute remaining in Game 6, folks, and the crowd in London is on their feet. They are feeling it right now.
Obviously, the crowd, knowing how big this game is, senses how big a moment this is. You make these free throws, you're looking at a pretty good way to finish this game out. Just got to make one.
The Edge, though, always dangerous. Maybe not as efficient in this game with their three-point shooting as they'd like to be, but 6 points is nothing for this Edge team that can shoot them. Jeff Dunlap's going to call his timeout here with under a minute remaining. The Lightning holding a 6-point lead. Tom, what does Jeff Dunlap's crew have to do to get back into this game if they want to force Game 7 or even just overtime?
So we're going to get back to our last minute strategy here. Wow, is this place loud? Is this place loud? Incredible. You got to try, you're not trying to jack up threes. You're really working to get a good shot at the rim. Obviously, if the three is there, you take it, but you try to get something to the rim. You make sure you're not looking to foul immediately. Get the steal if you can, then foul. You're definitely, if you're a coach, you're going down that lineup. You're looking who London has on right now. Who are the guys you want to key in on? If you're going to have somebody open, who's it going to be so you can foul them? So that's basically what's going on in the St. John's Edge timeout right now. For London, take care of the ball. No dumb turnovers. Make sure you're running to every pass. You're not just waiting for it to get to you. You're running, you're making sure that you're making solid plays.
I'll be honest, there's only two guys on London I want to see the ball end up in the hands of, and that would be Garrett Williamson or Ryan Anderson. I don't want to see anyone else holding on to that ball. I think those are the two guys. You get it to them, and then they can just pass to each other the rest of the possession and let those guys be the guys who, A, either get themselves to the free throw line, or B, make sure they don't turn it over.
Also Kyle Johnson, Chris.
Yes.
So Brent Pong with control of the ball for the Edge. Carl English looking to make a move. Carl English is going to drive in the lane. He kicks to Lee in the corner for three. No good. Hickle tries to grab the rebound. That's going to go out off of his hands, though. So the Lightning do their job. They prevent one possession from being points. They're going to force this pass, though. Anderson looking for a friend. Kicks to Bolden. Bolden deep to Williamson. Williamson's just going to hold it. Kill some clock. Williamson just running away from everyone.
Well, English can't be the one to foul him. That's the problem. Carl English would have picked up his sixth if he was the one to foul Williamson. So English was trying to say,
not me, not me. Yeah, somebody. So Williamson to the line here for two.
Can't say enough about Garrett Williamson's night tonight. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. An incredible performance from the former Canadian of the Year.
And he finishes his first to two. The Lightning there, big two. They managed to kill about 11 seconds off the clock from the end of that possession of the Edge to their Garrett Williamson free throws. That's Russell Bird checking back into the game.
They wanted three-point shooting. Now you've got 5 3-point shooters on the floor if you're the Edge.
So Williams starts the clock. Down under 30 seconds. Williams kicks to English. English can't get his three off. I think he actually stepped in there. No, but they do call it a three. Williamson with the ball. Bird can't finish the foul play. Anderson with the quick lay-in to finish.
Cannot let that happen.
So we've got a timeout here.
Is it a timeout or a tag? I think they teed up. Did they tee up Anderson?
They charged it to the bench. I believe that Coach Vassell just picked up a technical. Huge there. So the Edge just got a free point and their possession. Desmond Lee.
Don't have this much
time.
time.
Henkel with the three over Bolden. No good, but English right there for the ball. That's Williamson.
3 foul shots.
And that's English with 3 foul shots.
Considering the deficit the Edge were at, that's kind of a dream scenario right there. You get the free foul shot off the technical. Now you've got your best free throw shooter going to the line to take 3 free throws.
You know, despite his night, pretty undisciplined there from Garrett Williamson.
Oh man, you do not see that often.
Big miss from Carl English. the fans in London, they respect him, but they do not mind seeing that from the MVP.
So they called it a 2 as well. It wasn't even a 3, they called it a 2.
So the Lightning will take a timeout here, probably to practice the inbounds, get some situational awareness going on in their head.
I'm going to predict what Tom's going to say coming into this break. Foul, foul, foul.
Foul, 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 foul. Don't commit a technical.
Yeah.
Foul, foul. That's essentially what it is. And you got to make your free throws, kids. If you're going to get a gift like that, like Garrett Williamson, you're right on that closeout, discipline closeout. You don't need to make a heroic block. Force a hand.
You had enough of a buffer that if he makes the 3, whatever.
Don't just send him to the line because it stops the clock. The clock is your friend right now, so definitely need to be. Just get a hand up. Don't need to any wild closeouts, and don't take a technical.
That's usually a good rule of thumb, I find.
And yeah, no, for St. John's, like you could tell there was issue. They thought they had fouled, but Anderson getting the bucket. You got to make sure you foul. You got to make it. You don't want to hurt the guy, but you got to make sure it's absolutely clear to the referee in these situations. The referees are looking for it, but they're not just going to call it because
they're not going to give it away.
Exactly.
So just a tick over 10 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. The Lightning are going to come into this with possession, 104-99. Really just looking for a smart inbounds play here. You do not want to give the Edge a chance at a free basket. Bolden dishes to Anderson, so Lee's going to give him the foul.
Carl English, I think, tried to nurse a call out of the ref there.
So the Edge saved themselves less than a second there, so Anderson at the line. So Anderson stretches it to a 6-point lead. The chance to make it 7, which would probably maybe be the dagger here. And he does.
I think that's just about all she wrote there.
So Williams will let it wait. He's going to leave it for Hinkle. Hinkle not expecting, though. Hinkle needs to shoot here. Hinkle drives the lane, but really, still the refs not eager to call a foul there. Just 0.3 seconds left. I think we can safely call this one here in London, Ontario. The London Lightning, your Central Division NBL Canada champions for the 3rd year in a row. And if it sounds like we've said this before, but once again for the championship, it'll be the London Lightning and the Halifax Hurricanes. Chris, what a phenomenal series between these two very deserving teams.
Well, again, the St. John's Edge, all the credit in the world. That is an incredible first year for them to have in NBL Canada. A class organization the whole way, filling that building in Newfoundland, and just an excellent first season from the St. John's Edge. They gave London a heck of a fight. This wasn't like some years where we've seen London last year. They pretty much just strolled through the first couple of rounds. The Edge made them earn a finals appearance this year. The Edge really gave them a fight, and all the credit in the world to that team. For the London Lightning, they get to go against the Halifax Hurricanes again. Both teams have so many returning players. This could be the most intense finals series we will ever see, because both these teams still have so much venom between them from the previous years. Guys like Billy White battling down low, guards like Cliff Clinkscales running the offense, playing defense, getting in the grill of Doug Herring Jr. This is going to be some of the most exciting basketball NBL Canada will ever produce. And as it should be, we're going to watch the #1 team in the Central and the #1 team in the Atlantic battle it out for #1 team in the league.
Perfect. Well, it's been another amazing Gamecast here with Knockstrom TV. Once again, Brendan Jameson with my friends Chris and Tom Croucher. Glad to have you. We'll be here with games 3, 4, and maybe 5 of the championship series here in London. We turn it over to Aaron and Justin with the Knockstrom TV post-game show.
in just a bit. They got to wait
Sorry,
for the court.
sorry, we are waiting for the court to clear.
Sorry for the delay here, guys. I think we're just figuring out a scenario where they're going to be able to start their halftime show. All right, Aaron, Justin, whenever you guys are ready,
folks,
take it away.
thank you, Chris, Tom, and Brendan. A good job as always. 106-101 is the final. The London Lightning once again punched their tickets in for the NBL Canada Championships, and that will be a doozy. They will play Halifax. JP, tip to that cap to the St. John's Edge as always. I mean, we've seen them down to the nitty-gritty. They tried to stay poised, but unfortunately it was too much to bear because the London Lightning, they picked their spots down to the final few minutes.
Yeah, they definitely did pick their spots in what was a close finale here for the fourth quarter, where I think really you have one missed shot or one different shot going our way, we probably are in overtime right now. That's the way this kind of went tonight. But basically with the London Lightning, in those final few minutes, just everything started to really click together. Momentum, getting the buckets, getting the rebounds that they needed to get that weren't going their way for much of this game. So a much deserved effort from this team from all levels, that's for sure, for this one to come out on top.
Who was the difference maker in this victory?
I think the difference maker, one of them for sure has standing out for me, Garrett Williamson. He was one of the top scorers tonight for London, in my opinion, in terms of not just the stat sheet, but somebody that was trying to lead this team, trying to get them buckets, trying to get them setting up plays. They needed somebody to step up, and he was that guy. They had a few players, of course, as well, along with that offensive attack, but he was one of the main standouts, in my opinion.
We said this time and time again on most of the telecasts that Garrett Williamson is the most consistent player in London Lightning history. I mean, for a guy that scored the most points in the franchise history, he really paid extreme dividends too, especially in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs, the way he has been consistently been able to drive inside, make buckets in traffic, mind you, draw contact. In this game, they needed him to. He made threes as well when they needed somebody to turn around the three-point shooting after 2 of 17 in the second half, coming away with 6 triples as a team in the second half, and he added a couple of those. So this is, I think he's going to be somebody that's going to be a big part of the game plan going forward for the NBLC Finals.
Let's talk about the St. John's Edge before we check up out of here. You know what? Once again, the benefit of the doubt, I don't think so. As we see Audley Stevenson right in the building and right behind us in the flesh too with the son AJ right into the building. But once again, St. John's, I mean, they have caliber players, a caliber organization. They have a never say die attitude, don't you think?
They definitely do, because they fought to the bitter end in this one. This could have gone either way this series. We talked about this a few times. We expected it to go to around 6 or 7 games. It was that kind of a matchup. Class organization, we have discussed this before at all levels that we discussed after game number 2, from the media side to the players to the fans to the ownership to all different levels down at the Mile 1 Center on the Rock. So this is a team that wanted to win for sure. I think, like I said, one basket goes in our way. This game goes, we're potentially in overtime, or we're going to a game 7 at this point. I think either way, it could have been either way at this point with the way this series gone. It could have easily been St. John's on top and going on to the finals with the way the momentum went throughout this entire series. What'd you say, Mr. Audley Stevenson?
Oh, I'm just hanging out, guys. It's happening, man.
Nothing much. We got a storm coming. Third straight NBL Canada Finals matchup between the Hurricanes and the Lightning.
Well, how about that? But before, you know, got to give a shout out to the St. John's Edge. And I'm sure it's been touched on many times before, but, you know, inaugural season, to have this type of a finish is fantastic. Super proud of, you know, all the Newfoundlanders that are watching back home. They should be proud. Their team put on such a good performance all season long. And I'm just really, as a league official, just really happy and ecstatic for what we've seen out of their first year. Cannot wait for year number 2. But to your point, yeah, the part 3 is coming, guys. You know, just in Halifax last night, and you know, they were to knock off the Magic in 4 and 5, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do the math here. So in 5 games, and I'll tell you, they are focused and they are ready. And you know, I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm thinking a lot of those guys that came back from the Hurricanes, you know, this is a matchup they wanted in the finals. And, you know, for the third year, it's going to be a treat beyond treat, guys.
How about Joel Friesen going up against his former team for all the possessions and all the gold right there again?
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that's been very good this season, and again gets the chance to have a series for the finals against his former team. And he's somebody that's missed time with a concussion situation and for much of the time. You heard the standing ovation when he went to the bench. The fans want to see him to continue to do good, and he has been doing good in terms of hustle, being able to make triples, being able to try and force steals in this game as well, for example. Also somebody that could be one of the main factors, too, in this next series as well, which will be starting when exactly?
Tentative date Sunday, a week from today.
Okay.
So we've got a whole week to speculate and to analyze and to dissect and do all that good stuff. But I believe we're looking at Sunday for Game 1.
Sunday for Game 1.
We're not confirmed, but yeah, we're kind of confirmed. How's that?
Well, kind of confirmed. We'll say 50.
You didn't hear from me.
Hey, 50-50, folks. Just check the social media. Check NBLCanada.com for the tentative dates. You will see all the information right there. And to take a page from a lot of everybody, let's give, once again, one more round of applause for the St. John's Edge. I mean, once again, top-class organization, top-class crew they have over there, the broadcasters, Steve Power and Doug the Professor Partridge, along with all the players, especially Jeff Dunlap. His vision and his creativity came together, formed up a great crew of coaches, a great crew of players. I mean, we see Wally Elson. We've seen the Canadian veteran himself, Carl English, come into the fold. And then you see a lot of players. Hinkle Hoops coming alive in the NBLC. So you know what? For those of you who are watching in Water Street, nothing to hang your heads down about. This is a terrific season. And I think the Halifax Hurricanes had the distinction of go as far as this in their first year. So you know what? You're among the record books, too. Fantastic turnout. Fantastic team. Year number 2 is going to come up on all cylinders for you guys. So thumbs up to you. JP, final thoughts here.
Final thoughts coming into the finals. This is going to be an absolute thrilling matchup. Again, the Hurricanes, we talked about this, have been a class organization throughout the past few years in terms of being able to get to the finals and grabbing a great team under the system of Coach Leslie right now. This is a very good group. I think potentially even better than last year's group with some of the standouts that have been coming into the fold this season. So I think right now it's going to be an absolutely thrower of a series. It could potentially go to the distance once again in that matchup with the hunger they have and the talent that they have to play against in terms of the Lightning.
Mike Leslie versus Keith Vassell, the Halifax Hurricanes versus the London Lightning. Once again, the dates are tentative. Check your social media and check NBLCanada.ca for all the dates and the details. One thing is for certain, since London won and Halifax won last night, Games 1 and 2 will be at Halifax. Games 3, 4, and 5 will be back right here at Budweiser Gardens. So once again, we don't know when that will be, but you know what? Check in the next couple of days, and you best believe, as green as the apples are, we will have the dates. So there's the story right here. The final score, London Lightning, Central Division champions, once again, 106. The St. John's Edge, 101. Fantastic ride, good heavyweight battle for the Central Division championship. One of them had to win, and it was the London Lightning. We'll see you folks at Game 3. This has been the presentation of Knockstrom Digital Media, producing the media excellence in Southern Ontario. For AJ, Deputy Commissioner Audley Stevenson, for JP, the entire Knockstrom Digital Media crew, this be Aaron Sanders saying, till the finals, so long from the Forest City.
How does he do it, man? He gets all out in one mouthful. I love it.
The promised land. Holy cow.